Finds it at the 25, breaks a couple of tackles, and look at him go! He could go all the way! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Football field. With me today in the booth will be Mike Felker doing play-by-play and color commentary. And Mike, glad to have you with us for tonight's game.
Well, Ben, glad to be here. We're at Olivet High School. Saw the Crusaders prior to the game start, and they're extremely intense, working hard, and they look like they're getting fired up for tonight's game.
Okay, they are going through the pregame introductions right now for the Bay City Brahmas. And now here are the Crusaders getting the starting lineup. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Most of the Crusaders from the past years, including last year, are back once again this year. And let's talk about the final standings before this playoff game gets underway. The final standings in the Eastern Conference of the Michigan Charity Football League this year saw the Crusaders finish with a perfect 7-0-0 record. And they took first place in the Eastern Conference. The winners of the Western Conference, the Tri-Cities Mariners. And we'll take a look at the Western Conference in a moment. Finishing second in the Eastern Conference regular season, the Bay City Brahmas with a record of 6-2. The Detroit Bucks finishing in third. The Bath Cardinals in fourth with an improved team from past years. The Detroit Steelers, the Great Lakes Raiders, and the Madison Heights Rams rounding out the Eastern Conference final standings. In the Western Conference, the Tri-City Mariners finished in first place with a 7-1 record. The Oceana County Cowboys in second place, a long way back at 4-3. And the Cadillac Northmen coming off a championship season last year, finishing with a disappointing 2-6 record, in a tie for the cellar of the Western Conference with the Battle Creek Braves, the Galesburg Hawks, and the Chippewa Hills Lumberjacks. The results of the first round of playoffs held on August 10th. 1 week ago tonight, Lansing defeated Bath by a close score of 6-0. Meanwhile, at the same time, Bay City was wiping out the Detroit Bucks 40-12. In the other conference, in Western Conference action, Tri-Cities blanked Battle Creek 35-0, and Oceana beat Cadillac 40-14. So last year's champion is out of the race this year, but the runner-up is not. The runner-up is the Lansing Crusaders, and by virtue of a 6-0 victory last week over Bath, we are here tonight to face the Bay City Brahmas. So we're just about ready to get underway here. Both teams are ready for tonight's action. Not a big turnout. About 100 people here on the Lansing Crusaders side as we prepare for the kickoff. And let's take a look at our starting lineups here. On offense for the Crusaders, at quarterback, number 10, Bob Kubiak, and behind him in the backfield, the fullback number 28, Ken Root, and the tailback number 22, Brian Frazzini. At tight end, all-world, number 1, Mark Bozo, will be playing for the Crusaders. At split end, Mark McCardle, number 9, and a wide receiver starting for the Crusaders, number 87, Kevin Humes. On the line for the offense of the Crusaders, number 50, Brian Stewart, number 71, Bernie McConnell, number 75, Neil Hendrickson, and number 66, Doug Blankenberg. On the defense for the Bay City Brahmas, on the line, we've got number 50, Larry Murray, and number 56, Terry Rollings. In the linebacker positions, we have 46, Steve Willerts, and number 49, Tony Railings. In the backfield for the Brahmas, we have number 28, Dave Pettyplace, number 24, Steve Woodrow, number 17, Scott Smith, and number 2, T.J. Troop. The rest of the defense for the Brahmas on the line, number 72, Bill Jones, number 78, Ed LaBerge, and number 79, Dave Watts. And kicking off for the Brahmas will be number 50, Larry Murray. Murray is a defensive end when he's not kicking the ball, but he's getting ready to go here to get things underway.
Murray weighs 245 pounds, so it's quite unusual to see a man that size be kicking off. We'll see what he can do here.
One new addition to the Crusaders lineup this year is a backup quarterback, and that would be Mark Elzinga. He's only thrown the ball 17 times this year compared to Bob Kubiak's 300, but he replaces Greg McKay, who went over to Bath to play for the Cardinals this year in an effort to bring the Cardinals back up to the top. And that fell short last week, of course. 6-0 was the score. Well, we're ready to get underway here at Olivet High School. Number 50, Murray, getting ready to kick off. Deep for the Crusaders is number 8, Joe Clifford, and this one is short to number 28, Ken Root, and he's going to have to pick it up and see what he can get to the outside, and he's barreled down at about...
Herb Stillman.
Plays out to about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Crusaders will start things off tonight.
Yeah, Stolman came way from the right side and to make that tackle. It was a good hit. He nailed him at the 28-yard line.
Bob Kubiak steps up to the line of scrimmage and gets his offense set. Man in motion is McCardle. Here's a drop back pass to Bozo, the tight end, and it bounced before he could catch it. So that'll be an incompletion. The man in motion for the Crusaders on that play was Kevin Humes. Well, we can expect the Crusaders to throw the ball quite a bit. They've put it up over 300 times this year in approximately 8 or 9 occasions. So a lot of air activity for the Crusaders this year. It is 2nd and 10 in the first quarter, and McKay coming up in an I formation with his backs, Root and Frazzini behind him. A little bit of motion, it looked like, at the line of scrimmage. He's looking for someone over the middle, and it's Mark Bozo, and he had it, and he dropped it. And that would have been a first down. That was a 10-yard pass pattern executed perfectly from Bozo's point of view until the ball got there, and then he could not hang on.
Okay, it's 3rd and 10 for the Crusaders. They will definitely look like a team that likes to pass the ball. Number 1, Bozel's, looks like he's running into plays. And we have 22, Brian Frazzini in there now.
Well, it's a passing situation once again, Mike. They've thrown the ball twice and both incomplete, both to Mark Bozo. And they're going to have to probably put it up again. Number 87, Humes, is wide on the near side, and it looks like he's the intended receiver. He is. The ball is on the money, and it'll be a first down for the Crusaders. Making the stop there for the Brahmas was number 2, T.J. Troop. Well, a good play for the Crusaders. Obviously, it got them the first down, but it looked like Troop was all over Humes on that play. But nevertheless, he pulled it in, and it's a first down. So 3 plays and 3 passes for the Crusaders so far, and we still have Ken Root and Brian Frazzini in the backfield. And Kubiak back to throw. He's under pressure, and he's going to go down. Down he goes. That's going to be a 6-yard loss. A big sack there, a big defensive play for the Bay City Brahmas.
Well, that's 4 passing plays in a row, and the Brahmas were just prepared for that when they had everybody going in on that play. It was good defensive penetration. There's not a lot you can do if you're in that situation, and Bob Kubiak just had to tuck it in and take the hits. That brings up a 2nd and 17 for the Crusaders.
Kubiak up to the line of scrimmage. He's in a passing formation, and he'll drop back. Here comes a linebacker to blitz, and this ball is on. It is going to be... It is complete. Kevin Humes once again for the Crusaders, and that's going to be well shy of a first down. This will bring up a 3rd and 6 situation. An 11-yard pass play for the Crusaders. So once again, 3rd down, and they have yet to run the ball tonight.
The Crusaders don't seem to have a lot of confidence in the running game. Apparently, their backs are good blockers, but I think they like to rely on a run. I'd like to see what one of the backs can do out of the offense as far as catching the ball.
Here's Kubiak throwing to McCardle, number 9, over the middle, and it was in and out of his hands. In and out, and it's incomplete. And so the Crusaders will be brought to a 4th down situation. And Kubiak is coming off the field, so it looks like the Crusaders will have to kick it away. The Crusaders and the Brahmas met earlier in this season, most recently 2 weeks ago, and the final score in that one, 13-9, one of the Crusaders' closer games. And in that game, Kubiak put the ball up 34 times. He was 19-34 for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Back to kick for the Crusaders, number 3, Tim Kirchmer, and he gets away a good high punt. Not very far, but plenty of hang time, no fair catch. And the return man for the Brahmas won't go far. That's number 14, And that's Brian Sullivan. He plays wide receiver for the Brahmas.
Okay, Mark Brozo really showed his talents on that one as he made the tackle as well as playing defensive or tight end. Shows he can play defense. Seems like he's a pretty good athlete, Ben.
Well, we'll see. We've got plenty of action left tonight to see what kind of an athlete he is. Setting up the offense now for the Brahmas at quarterback, we have number 12, Ben Haller. And we'll get the rest of the offense in just a moment. He's going to roll out to his right and throw complete to the tight end, and that'll be a first down. Can't see who it is over there, but that should be a first down for the Brahmas. Brian Sullivan, number 14, made the catch. Bickerstaff on the tackle for the Crusaders, and it is a first down for Bay City. That will take them out to their, looks like they're 35, yes, the 35-yard line. First down and 10 to go with 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. No score, the Crusaders versus the Bay City Brahmas for the championship of the Eastern Conference of the MCFL. Here's a handoff inside. And number 7 for the Brahmas is going to roll for about 5 yards. That's Herb Stoneman. And nothing really opened up on that play, but he managed to get good yardage nevertheless. 2nd and 5 is the situation coming up. Well, in the regular season in the MCFL this year, the Crusaders finished first in scoring with a 31.7 points per game average, and also first in scoring defense, allowing only 6 points per game. Bay City finished second in both categories. So definitely the class of the Eastern Conference here in this game. The quarterback, Ben Haller, with the pitch out now, inside and nowhere. Nothing's going to open up for number 7, Herb Stoneman. Once again, the ball carrier. And, Mike, that's an example of how tenacious the Crusader defense can be.
Well, that's what they were saying before the ball game, is that their defense has really kept them going so far this year. The offense has been kind of inconsistent. I can probably see why with how much passing that they do. If you're off, you're off, and if you're on, you're on. But it looks like their defense is their definite backbone to their team.
So it's 3rd and 5, and Haller steps up to the line of scrimmage in I formation. He takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his left, throws over the top to number 1, Jerry Garrison, and that'll be a first down. He goes out of bounds at midfield, the 50-yard line. Well, Garrison was open all the way on that one, Mike. Perhaps someone missed their assignment, but in any event, it's a first down and 10 situation for Bay City. In the backfield for the Brahmas, number 42, Chris Williams, and number 7, Herb Stoneman. Haller takes a snap, gives it right to Williams, off right tackle, and he's going nowhere. Williams is a big ball player. He's 6 foot 230, and that makes him tough to bring down, but he only got about a yard on that play before he was stopped. 2nd down and about 9 yards to go now for Bay City.
I tell you, Ben, just for this being a charity football game, these guys are very, very intense. They're playing for free, but you would never know it seeing the action on the field.
Okay, 2nd and 9, and Haller with an I formation behind him. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got a man wide open, number 1, by the sideline. He'll hit him easily. That'll be a first down. And that's Jerry Garrison. And again, he was open all the way. I guess they cleared out a zone on that one, Mike.
Yeah, they did. They tried to pull Garrison over to the right side and have him one-on-one, and it worked out to perfection as the defensive backs was pulled towards the sidelines of the Crusaders.
So it'll be first down and 10 for Bay City now at the 40-yard line of the Crusaders. Coming wide to the left for Bay City, number 14, that's Brian Sullivan. And in the slot will be number 1, Jerry Garrison. I'll bet he'll roll out to the left here. Let's watch for the rollout. Haller turns and gives up the middle to Stoneman, and Stoneman will get maybe a yard. They might give him 2 yards on that. Herb Stoneman, the ball carrier. And as they unpile things, the officials will set the ball at about a 2-yard gain on that play. So it will be 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, Ben, it looks like the officials are letting them play a little bit today. Seeing a couple good shots in there. And that's good to see. You know, sometimes the officials can get carried away with the flag.
I don't see him coming your way!
Well, we're up here in the broadcast booth, Mike, with everybody else, and so some of the background noise you hear are the coaches up here and the official timekeeper. Okay, Haller with a first, second and 8 situation. He's going to drop back. A flag is down on the left side of the line of scrimmage. A pass over the middle, incomplete, and some late contact there. Joe Costello bumping into number 88 for the Bay City Brahmas, and that is Gary Niedzwiecki. But no call on that. The flag, however, went just as the ball is snapped, and that usually means illegal procedure. We'll see what the signal is. Well, the preliminary call has the penalty against the Crusaders, and indeed it is a 5-yard mark-off against Lansing. And that was for offsides.
Well, as soon as I put my foot in my mouth, Ben, they call a penalty.
Well, that's the first penalty of the game, a 5-yarder against Lansing, and that'll make it 2nd down and 4. First quarter action, no score, but Bay City is on the move. And they are inside Crusader territory. Number 12, Haller, the quarterback, takes the snap, and he's going to give to number 7, Herb Stoneman, and he goes nowhere. Absolutely nothing doing there, Mike. The Crusaders, for the past 4 years, have finished first in the MCFL in scoring defense, and as I said earlier, have given up only 6 points per game this year. So that means 1 touchdown in 4 quarters, and it won't be easy for Bay City as they face this 3rd and 4 situation.
No, they're going to have to try to rely on trickery as far as scoring on offense. There's no way they're going to be able to run a ball against Lansing Crusaders because the Crusaders dominate on the run.
Haller is back to throw now, and he's having trouble finding anybody open. Goes to the sidelines and overthrows number 14, Brian Sullivan. He had some time, and he had a man open, but he couldn't hook up. So now it'll be 4th down and 4 yards to go. The ball is spotted at the Lansing Crusader 34-yard line, and we'll see if Bay City might try and kick this one through. Number 12, the quarterback, Ben Haller, is back in punt formation. Number 7, Herb Stoneman, is blocking for him, but also number 5, Jim Wenzel, is wide on the left. And Haller with the ball. He will punt it, and it's high. Looks like it'll drop down inside the 20. It does. It's going to go towards the end zone, and it'll make it inside for a touchback. So with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first quarter, there is no score on the clock. Michigan Charity Football League playoff action. The Lansing Crusaders versus the Bay City Brahmas on Lansing Cable TV.
Lansing.
Well, you'll have to get that. Okay.
I guess we can just use it up.
The Crusaders now with the ball on their own 20-yard line, and they have yet to attempt a running play. Kubiak again dropping back to throw, and he's looking over the middle, and there's a little bit of a mix-up there. Mark Bozo cut left, and that's exactly where the ball wound up, was right at his feet where he had cut. Also into the game now for the Crusaders, number 86, Bo Newberry.
Yeah, Scott Smith on that play for Bay City almost came up with an interception.
So sooner or later, Lansing's going to have to run the ball. Although they haven't yet, they've got a couple of good running backs. And now, number 8 is in the game, and that is Joe Clifford for the Crusaders at a running back position. And again, Kubiak to throw, and he's going to go down, but there's Clifford, and he's got some running room on the far side of the field. He picked up about 20 yards on that, and that's a typical Lansing Crusaders play. They made something out of less than nothing.
Yeah, Clifford, 5'8", 170-pounder from Oakland. Really got his wheels turned up the field on that one. Looked like a quick bugger. Kind of reminded me of maybe Joe Howard or someone like that from Notre Dame.
Well, that's the closest the Crusaders have come to a running play tonight, being that the receiver was a running back, and Kubiak almost ate the ball once again. Clifford will stay in at the up-back position. No, they're going to switch now to a pro set. The other running back is 28, Ken Root, and he'll take the ball around the right side. He'll pick up about 4 yards. So the Crusaders with their first running play of the game.
Yeah, that was a simple pitch out to the right. Nothing real tough about that play, but it did get some yards, so it's nice to see. Is that an inverted flag?
Yeah, we missed that. It's not inadvertent. It is a penalty flag, and it looks like it'll be against the Crusaders. This is going to be another 5-yarder, and we'll wait for the call, and it is offsides. So the Crusaders are a little bit jumpy again tonight.
I don't know who jumped the gun on that one, Ben, but I didn't see it.
It was on the far side of the field. I have a feeling it was the wide receiver on the far side of the field. First quarter action, 4 minutes to go. Still no score in this ball game. Yet to see a big play. Number 86, Bo Newberry, is wide on the near side, and number 87, Kevin Hume, is wide on the far side. As the Crusaders get set, we have number 28, Ken Root, and number 8, Joe Clifford, in the backfield. Kubiak back, he's looking for Newberry on the near side. He's got him, but Bo's going to have to get away from 1-2 men, and he'll go down. But a 5-yard pickup for Bo Newberry.
Yeah, Newberry put a nice move on T.J. Troop on that play. Cut in, twirled around, and went around him, and it was a good offensive maneuver.
Well, Newberry this year with only 14 receptions, if you can believe that, but that was good for 227 yards with 3 touchdowns. Newberry and Marshall Dill in past years have been the top receivers along with Mark Bozo on this team, but this year it was Kevin Humes and Mark McCardle along with Mark Bozo. Kubiak once again back to throw, and he's going to look over towards Humes. He's got him, and that's going to be a first down. Humes struggles all the way to the 45-yard line, and that's the closest we've seen to a big play.
Yeah, if Humes could have kept his balance, although that would have been really difficult, he might have gone all the way. He had his momentum and simply just dove forward for extra yardage.
Kevin Humes this year with almost 25% of the Crusaders' aerial yardage, 538 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 33 catches in the regular season. So he's Bob Kubiak's favorite target. So first down and 10 at the 45-yard line now. Kubiak with the pitch now to Root around the right end. He'll go right down behind the line of scrimmage is where his knee made contact, and that's where they'll mark it.
Yeah, the nose guard, Ed LaBerge for Bay City, backed up as if he's playing linebacker and then blitzed, which kind of got good penetration, and that forced Lansing to come around the end.
So that will be second and about 11 yards now for the Crusaders near midfield. And I have a feeling that the Crusaders are going to pull something out of their hat on this play. Humes wide on the far side, Newberry wide on the near side. Kubiak going back to throw. He's looking for Newberry. No, he's got Mark Bozo, but he overthrew him. And Mark Bozo a little bit slow getting up. Mark Bozo this year with 31 catches, 300 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
The Brahmas are doing a lot of stunning, Ben, and if the Crusaders could catch them off balance, they might go all the way in a big play.
Well, this is what I think will happen sooner or later. The Crusaders are most typically a big play type of a ball club, and they like to throw the ball. As evidenced tonight, they've only run the ball twice. Oftentimes, when they do complete the long one, it goes all the way. Bo Newberry, Kevin Humes, and Mark Bozo, the receivers in the set as Kubiak drops back, and he's looking for Bo Newberry deep, and he might have him, and he does, and Newberry is going to go all the way. There it is. That's what they were looking for. A big play from Bo Newberry, who hasn't had a big year this season, but he made it look simple once again.
Yeah, he just had Mark Bozo and Mark McCardle just curl in, and, oh, there's a flag on the play?
Well, there's a flag, but they're talking to Bob Kubiak, and it looks like it'll be against Bay City. That will, of course, be declined. Let's watch as it happens. I didn't see when the flag went down. It's declined. The touchdown is good, and it is 6-0 Crusaders as they get ready to attempt the extra point. That's what I was talking about, Mike. It looks simple from up here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Like I said, you know, year two was just a matter of time, and they got the middle open. It was a simple post pattern by Newberry, and he was wide open, easily scored.
Number 3, Tim Kirchmer, a 6'4", 190-pound kicker out of Dayton, Ohio, and he's up in the Lansing area now and playing for the Crusaders, attempting the extra points. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 2 minutes left in the first period, the Lansing Crusaders have taken a 7-0 lead over the Bay City Brahmas in Michigan Charity Football League action on Lansing, Cable Channel 36. Kirchmer kicking off now to the Brahmas, and this is a good kick down to about the 6-yard line. Number 10 with the ball for Bay City, and he's getting some blocking, and he's going to go all the way out to the 37-yard line. That's Chuck Gordon. And he's a wide receiver on offense, and a very good return on a good kick. The only problem with that kick, Mike, was it was more of a line drive, and it gave them plenty of time to set up their kick return. It didn't hang very much.
Yeah, he got a quick jump on it, and he was able to drive upfield here on the 40-yard line. You either like to hit the ball low on the ground and hard, give the defense some time to get down there real high.
Jerry Garrison is wide on the near side for Bay City, and number 14, Brian Sullivan, wide on the far side. An I formation. Haller gives now to the up back, number 23. This is the new player. Well, he won't go anywhere. He'll go about 1, maybe 2 yards. That's Carl Norris for Bay City, and he didn't get very far. Not very far at all. So it will be second down and about 8 yards to go now for Bay City.
Tell you, Ben, here at Olivet High School, the fans are starting to come in. The attendance is up, definitely. They're probably pretty excited about this game.
Second down and 8 now for Bay City, and Haller is going to roll out to his right. He likes to roll out, he likes to throw, and he does to number 1, Jerry Garrison. And the Crusaders think he was out of bounds, but the officials think otherwise. And that is good for a first down. At midfield for Bay City now, the 48-yard line.
Okay, Bay City trying to get some penetration here. First and 10. Bay City is going to definitely have to mix it up, though, against the Crusaders. That looks like what they're trying to do.
First down and 10 now, time winding out in the first period. The quarterback, Haller, for Bay City is going to fake a handoff, and Joe Costello is going to eat him up alive in the backfield. Joe Costello, number 0 for the Crusaders. A Lansing O'Rafferty graduate. He went to Central Michigan, and he runs this ball club on the field. He's the defensive captain, and he does all the work behind the scenes. And a great play there by Costello to get inside with the penetration and make the tackle.
Yeah, Costello looks like he pretty much does everything on defense. He's pretty much a free floater, as they would say.
Well, Costello has 2 interceptions this year, and he is the number 5 leading tackler on the team. It is second and 15, and Haller's going to drop way back. It's a draw play now to number 23, the man who just came in for Bay City. He's going to get some extra yardage on the tackle, and that's Carl Norris. And it will not be enough for a first down, but it was a good gain for Bay City. Time has run out now in the first period, and if there's nothing wrong with that play, that will be it for the first period of action. And it is. At the end of the first quarter, it is 7-0 Crusaders, getting ready now for second period action in the Michigan Charity Football League playoffs here on Cable Channel 36.
Right.
Third down and 5 now for Bay City, going the opposite way as Haller gives to the big man, number 23. That's Carl Norris, and he's going to be just shy of the first down, apparently. They're going to call timeout to measure this, but, well, it's going to be very close. They're going to give him the first down, Mike. They're going to give him the first down.
There's some complaints over on the Crusaders' side, and I can see why.
It didn't look from where he stopped like it was going to be far enough, but the spot gave him the first down, and so it is. So they're at the 41-yard line now, first and 10 situation. Haller, the quarterback, with an I formation behind him. And he runs, and there's the flag immediately, and he's going to go deep to number 1, and this is going to be picked off. It is. It is picked off. L.C. Benson with the interception, but we have to see what the flag was all about. It's going to be against Bay City, so the interception is good. the Crusaders will take over possession at the 12-yard line, at their own 12-yard line.
LC made a great play on that. He played that just like as if he was the receiver. He turned at the right time and made a nice interception. It looked like the wide receiver for Bay City gave up on the ball, though.
Well, I think he was just robbed, Mike. I don't think he necessarily gave up, but the defender, Benson, had excellent position on him, and he just played it perfectly and made the pick. Coming over wide on the near side now for the Crusaders, number 9, Mark McCardle, and Bo Newberry wide on the far side. Kubiak dropping back, going right over to McCardle. He's got one man to beat. If he can get by him, he's going to try and outwheel him, and now he's got some room on the sidelines. He's finally run out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Now that's the type of play that they used to routinely run to Bo Newberry, and Newberry always took advantage of a one-on-one situation with the ball in his hands. This time, though, it was Mark McCardle. So first down now for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that little outlet pass is a great play if you got a wide receiver or slot end or whatever, because he can use his speed and his moves to get out and open.
Joe Clifford, number 8, and number 22, Brian Frazzini in the backfield. The pitch now is to Frazzini. He's going to go to his right, and he's crossing the line of scrimmage. He's going to get about 5 yards on the play. And that was a tough 5 yards, Mike. The Crusaders like to get their yardage a little bit easier in the air, but he had to work for it. And with the absence of Greg Dalton this year, Brian Frazzini has been the big touchdown man for the Crusaders. 3 touchdowns this year on 34 carries.
I guess you'd call Frazzini a jiggerbug on that one. He just, or jitterbug, excuse me, as he simply did that almost all on his own.
Second down and 5. Kubiak looking over his offense. Looks like he's calling it at the line of scrimmage. He's going to pitch immediately to number 8, Joe Clifford, and Joe Clifford eats the ball upon impact.
Terry Rollins just made a phenomenal play. He just was in his face as soon as he got the ball. I think he had a countdown on that one, Ben.
Well, Rawlings, the defensive end, did exactly what he's supposed to do on that play, which is penetrate 3 yards and wait to see what happens. And, of course, once he was inside the backfield, he was looking at the ball carrier right in front of him, so he simply made the tackle. But a good defensive play, and that will put the Crusaders into a 3rd and 9 situation. I'd look for Bo Newberry, who is wide on the far side in this play, and Kubiak's looking at him also. No, he's looking back now to McCardle. Over the middle now to Clifford, and Clifford may score. Well, a bit premature on saying he might score. He was not really at full speed when he caught the ball, but nevertheless, once again, the Crusaders make the big play on a 3rd down and long situation. They go over the middle to a back coming out of the backfield, and that's something they don't do very often.
Well, that was a beautifully executed play. He looked right, looked left, and then Clifford kind of delayed over the middle on that play.
We've got a timeout on the field of play now with 9.5 minutes left in the second period. It is 7-0 the Crusaders over the Bay City Brahmas in Michigan Charity Football League action here on Lansing Cable 36.
Okay, let's start getting in.
Kubiak with Clifford and Frazzini in the backfield, and he's going to drop back to throw. It looks like it might be a screen pattern. It looks like he might just go down, and he will go down at the 45-yard line. A flag goes down with him, and this could be a roughing the quarterback call. That's all it could look like to me, Mike, would be a roughing the passer.
Or possibly, no, this is possibly a face mask. If you look.
Could have been a face mask. We'll have to see. And it is. It was a face mask, and so the sack will be good, but the face mask penalty will make up for most of it. And no, it won't. They're only going to call it a 5-yard face mask. Well, that means it's an inadvertent face mask penalty. The official felt that it was not a flagrant violation, and so only 5 yards are assessed. Nevertheless, it puts the Crusaders deep in a hole now. They have got 2nd down and 25 yards to go. So Kubiak will drop back to throw, and he's going to throw over to the sideline to McCardle. And McCardle has it. A good pickup, well short of the first down, but just about a 20-yard pickup, maybe 17, 18 yards on that. And so that will bring up a 3rd down and 5. 3rd down and 4.
Someone's got to stop that Terry Rawlings. He's all over the field for the Brahmas.
Well, we lost 10 yards there, Mike. It's 3rd down and 14, not 3rd down and 4. So Kubiak now dropping back and right over the middle and picked off by number 56.
Terry Rawlings.
Terry Rawlings.
He's been all over the field, Ben. He's been everywhere.
Well, you know, it wasn't like Bozo was out of position. He was just double-teamed. They knew to look for Bozo on a play like that, and he was standing right where the first down yardage would have been, but he had a guy on either side, and there was nothing he could do, but a real good play by Rawlings. So as we scan the field now, it will be the Crusaders back on defense.
Did you give them time to play or what?
And the ball now is at the 33-yard line of Bay City as Haller rolls and gives to number 23. That's Carl Norris. And I think he may have lost a yard on that. We'll have to see where they spot it. He may have gained a yard.
Monty Griffin really showed his quickness on that play, Ben. He came out of his defensive back position to make a good play.
Second down and 10 now for Bay City. Haller will give to, again, Norris. And Norris is really battling for yardage. He picked up about 7 on that play. He had to fight for every one of them, though. But he's a tough man to stop. Bickerstaff on the tackle for the Crusaders. Costello on the assist. And Norris is 6 foot and 180. He looks bigger, but he runs quicker.
Yeah, he almost ran right through Bickerstaff. However, in fairness to Bickerstaff, he was kind of backpedaling on that one.
3rd down and 2 now. And Haller is adjusting his offense. A lot of movement now defensively, trying to adjust to the changes on Bay City's part, and the give right back to Norris, and he's got a first down and a few yards more, and that's what I mean. You see how he can carry those defenders with him, and the Bay City sidelines getting very excited now as Norris carries the ball.
Yeah, he seems like he has very, very strong upper body. And his upper body is not a place to be hitting a man like that. You have to hit him low, and I think right now the Crusaders are hitting him a little bit too high.
So 1st down and 10 now with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter of action. 7-0 to score. The Crusaders on top, but Bay City with the ball at midfield. And the quarterback Haller with an I formation behind him. He's going to drop and throw immediately to the sideline, and it is incomplete. A flag goes down. The ball is intended for number 14, Brian Sullivan, and I think we may have an interference call.
It was thrown right at Benson. I'll see.
Still waiting for an indication from the officials. It is interference, and it is against the Crusaders, so that will be a first down.
That was awfully a tough call, Ben. I thought it was actually a pretty good defensive play.
We're also a long way from the play up here in the booth. That's the far side of the field, and I'm afraid I'll have to yield to the officials' judgment. They had a better view of it. In any event, it is 1st down and 10 now for Bay City at midfield. And Haller with a man in motion. That's Norris. The pitch now to Norris, and he's going to get around the first man by him, and he'll go down at the 40-yard line. That time he couldn't plow through the defense.
I think there was a flag on the play again. I think we have motion.
Well, it's offsides against the Crusaders, so the flags are beginning to fly here at the Olivet High School field where the Michigan Charity Football League playoffs are being held tonight. The championship of the Eastern Conference at stake. The score 7-0 Crusaders, but the call goes against Lansing this time. They're talking about it on the field. And they are about to pace it off. Should be 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so the ball will stay at the 40, which is where Norris brought it to anyway, but it won't cost them a down to get there. The ball is actually spotted at the 39-yard line, and it will be 1st down and 5. Number 42, Chris Williams, the fullback, and the ball is dropped after the snap. The give goes right back to Norris, and number 99, Bob Beasley, a 6'0", 275-pound defensive tackle for the Crusaders out of Holt. That's the type of thing a defense has to do, Mike, when the offense makes a mistake like a fumbled snap. They must take advantage of it, and they did in this occasion.
Yeah, it just shows you what kind of defense the Crusaders do have to be able to do something like that. You know, they will not give in or give up.
2nd down and 11 for Bay City. They're still at midfield. They've been there for a while. Haller now rolling out to his left, and he's going to throw over to the far sideline, and it is complete. Right over the outstretched arms of Joe Costello. Complete at the 30-yard line, a 10-yard pickup. It will be a first down. And it was number 14, Brian Sullivan, on the reception.
Yeah, he really threaded the needle between Costello and Benson. It was a perfectly thrown pass.
Did we send somebody down there to get them out of there?
He didn't put a lot on the ball, but he put it right where he wanted to, and that was good for a first down. So first down and 10 now, the clock running with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And Bay City has had the ball for, it seems like, quite a while, but they're moving it fairly slowly. Haller, the quarterback now, takes the snap, gives to Norris again, and Norris has got a hole. He may go all the way, and this will be a touchdown for Bay City. Well, they really moved him out on the offensive line that time, and as soon as Norris had the ball, he was into the open, and we've got ourselves a football game on our hands tonight.
Well, it took them the second quarter to really do anything on offense. However, they just proved that they're not going to roll over and play dead. They're at Olivet High School.
Well, every point counts in a situation like this, and the extra point should not be taken for granted, and Bay City won't take it for granted. They're going to take a timeout to talk about it. So 5 minutes and 11 seconds left. We're waiting for the extra point attempt by Bay City on Lansing Cable 36.
What?
Here's the extra point attempt by Bay City, and the ball is up, and it is good. So it's a tie ball game here, 7-7 with 5 minutes and 11 seconds left at the Olivet High School football field. Eastern Conference Finals of the Michigan Charity Football League between the Lansing Crusaders and the Bay City Brahmas. And we'll be back in just a moment. Number 50, Larry Murray, set to kick off for Bay City. He makes his approach, puts his foot into the ball, and it's a good kickoff. It's going to go over the head of Clifford into the end zone, number 8. Joe Clifford, he'll have to down the ball. He misjudged that one while it was in the air and could not catch it, but it was really a very good kickoff by Murray. So the Crusaders will have a little over 5 minutes to work with the ball here in the second quarter of action. The score on the board is 7-7. It's all tied up. And Bay City is getting extremely excited about the game situation as we go on. The sidelines very vocal on the Bay City side. For offense now for the Crusaders, number 9, Mark McCardle, wide on the near side, and number 87, Kevin Humes, wide on the far side. Ferzini and Root in the backfield. Kubiak getting set with the ball. We've got an illegal procedure call coming up. Number 65, Dave Ozanich, pulled to lead a sweep before the ball was snapped, and that's going to be 5 yards against the Crusaders. Crusaders often a very heavily penalized team, but an explosive offense nevertheless. They'll go back 5 more yards, and so it will be 1st and 15 from the 15 of the Crusaders. Same offensive set, a pro set backfield. Kubiak dropping back now, looking deep for Newberry. He's going to overthrow him. He had to get rid of it, though. He had to unload the ball because the pressure was coming in. But with that incompletion, it now goes to 2nd and 15, and once again, it's nothing but passing situation after passing situation for the Crusaders.
Yeah, the Crusaders are putting themselves in that situation. They've got to mix it up a little bit more in order to get something going on offense.
Unfortunately, this might not be the time to do that because it is 2nd and 15. Kubiak dropping back, and he will throw the ball. The blitz is on. He's going to have to unload over the middle, and he's got McCardle. McCardle's going to go away from almost everybody, and he gets a first down. He had one man to beat, and he's pointing at him. McCardle is waving at his defender there, and the man he was taunting was number 24, Steve Woodrow. It was a quick motion, but that sort of thing can heat things up on the field.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Ben. And McCardle once again showing his speed as he just burst once he caught that ball. I don't know about some of this taunting the opposition, how that's going to affect the Bay City team, but in any case, it was a good play.
Same offensive set with Frazzini and Root in the backfield. A quick snap. Kubiak going back, looking, and he's going over to McCardle. McCardle had it right on the numbers. Well, all I can say, Mike, is that the man that he had just pointed at on the play before, number 24, Steve Woodrow, was right behind him. And it's just possible that McCardle heard him or saw him and was thinking about what he had just done.
Yeah, McCardle, I don't know if he was totally concentrated on catching the ball. He might have been thinking about some other things, but that just shows you got to keep your head in the ball game and not in other aspects.
2nd down and 10 now for the Crusaders. 4.5 minutes left in the first half. And we've got an I formation now for Kubiak, who will drop the ball, and it's picked up by Bay City, number 72 on the fumble recovery. Bill Jones. And that could cost the Crusaders now because Bay City has plenty of time to operate. Plenty of time indeed, with 4:34 on the clock and a tie ball game. The last time Bay City had the ball, they moved all the way down for a touchdown. And they've got the momentum right now. So the Crusaders go to the defensive side of the ball, where they led the Michigan Charity Football League this season in scoring defense. Ben Haller, the quarterback for Bay City, takes the snap, and he's going to go right down. He's going to go down immediately as number 55, Paul Binkowski, fires inside and makes a big tackle. Binkowski, one of the Crusaders' leading tacklers this year. Binkowski out of Saginaw Valley, 6'1", 215-pound defensive end, and he found an alley to get through to the quarterback that time, sacking Haller for a 3-yard loss. It's 2nd down and 13. The clock now running. 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Haller, the quarterback, a long count. He's going to get pulled down again. Once again, number 55, Paul Binkowski. And the tide of this game is starting to change. The momentum's shifting back to the Crusaders.
Yeah, he just blew his center, Tom Benson, right out of the play. He just flew past him. And they're quite excited on that field about that play.
3 minutes even to go in the first half now. 3rd down and 19 for Bay City, and so far the Crusaders defense rising to the occasion after a fumbled snap, which the Brahmas took over. Here's Ben Haller, the quarterback, with the set and a give to Norris. Norris will rumble for 2 yards, and he's down. The Crusaders will get a chance to get the ball one more time here in the first half.
Well, that was great, Ben, that the defense came in there and penetrated and played the way they did, because now this gives them an opportunity to do something on offense. They still have plenty of time with 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and they have 3 timeouts left. And see what happens here on 4th down.
The quarterback for Bay City doubles as the punter, and so Haller is back to receive the snap, and he'll be kicking from midfield. No pressure. It's a high punt, but it's very, very short, and this one will bounce to, looks like the 16-yard line. Well, the Crusaders will not benefit from good field position here, but they've got about 2 minutes to operate in, and we're going to stay right here as we finish off the first half. The score is 7-7, and the Crusaders need to get down and get something on the board. before the end of the first half. So far, Mike, it's been mostly a back-and-forth ball game with both teams throwing the ball quite a bit. Bay City is running the ball a lot more than Lansing is, but perhaps that will change in the second half. A lot of times, the Crusaders don't like to put the ball on the ground until they've built up a lead, and then they use up the clock and go to the post-game party. But I'm afraid that it may not be that easy for them this week. The last time they played Bay City, they beat them only by 4 points. And that's a closer game than they're used to playing. So 1:57 left on the clock here in the first half as the Crusaders talk things over on offense. The referees are talking things over in the middle of the field. And things are quiet here at Olivet High School. The sidelines of the Bay City Brahmas have calmed down considerably after the 2 sacks by number 55, Paul Dinkowski. And pretty quiet on the side of the Crusaders as well.
Yeah, it's quite a change. It's almost like a turnaround. They've been yelling and yelling and yelling. Now it's so quiet. But maybe this will help get something started that is different than what we have seen. Number 21, Dick Horning of Bay City, just came in. He's on crutches. I don't know what he was telling his team.
Kevin Humes and Bo Newberry, the wide receivers for Lansing, as Kubiak drops back, throws right away to Humes. He's got one man to beat, and not this time. They've seen that play before, and this time it was number 24, Steve Woodrow. Had no problems with him. The receiver still picked up about 6 yards on the play. But I don't think the Crusaders can plan to do that very often. Clock is running now, and there is 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in the first half. Kubiak back to throw. He's looking for Newberry, and he overthrows him. No, well, a little bit. Bo Newberry, the intended receiver on that play, and it was incomplete. So it will bring up a 3rd and 5 situation with 1 minute and 18 seconds left.
And for Bay City, TJ Troop let Newberry know that they're not going to just let them catch the ball and not be hit.
Third and 5 now. Kubiak coming up to the line of scrimmage. He's got Newberry wide on the far side. Kevin Humes wide on the near side, and he's going to look for his over the middle, and it's completion. Humes won't go down, but he finally has to be stopped at the Crusader 43-yard line. Good pickup for Lansing, but they're going to need to call a timeout or something. The clock is finally stopped with 1:14 to go, and the Crusaders at midfield.
Humes seems like their big play man.
Well, he has been tonight, but look for Bo Newberry on this play. Kubiak dropping back, looking over to Humes. He's going to go deep, and this time too deep. Number 87, Kevin Humes, the intended receiver. Humes, the leading receiver for the Crusaders this year, both in yardage, receptions, and touchdowns. But it does stop the clock, though, Mike, with 1:07 left.
That's what I was going to say. That play was, you know, just go for it and see what happens. And if you miss, it stops the clock. If you go, you catch it, that much better.
Second down and 10 now. Kubiak, a quick snap, and he's looking over the middle. That ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, apparently by number 79, Dave Watts. And I say apparently because Dave Watts is 6'4", 245. So I think he got a piece of that ball.
Yeah, the linebackers for the Brahmas blitzed on that. That'd be Steve Willert and Railings.
Third down now for the Crusaders, and nothing much is happening offensively for Lansing this whole quarter. Humes wide to the near side, and we may have a flag, no flag. Okay, Kubiak's going to fire it to Humes, and it's caught, and he's going to be stopped at the 50-yard line. That will be shy of a first down, however, with just under a minute left to play. Nope, they're going to give him the first down.
I don't know if you've noticed, Ben, but the Bay City's got Dave Petty playing way back at safety, just in case anybody does break away.
Kubiak now dropping back with under a minute to go in the first half, and he's got Humes on the sideline. The clock will stop. A good play.
Bay City's going into that two-minute warning defense, and they're letting them get the 10-yarders. I don't know if that's so great to do right now because the Crusaders are more or less marching down the field. However, this holding penalty definitely is a bad break for the Crusaders.
Well, a little bit of confusion on the field, but it apparently is going to be holding against Lansing. And here's the walk-off. It's going to be just 5 yards. 10 yard? 10-yard penalty? Okay, so it's a 10-yard penalty against the Crusaders. 47 seconds left, and it's a critical point in the game, Mike, because either team may yet get some more points, and whichever team does, of course, will have a tremendous advantage in the second half. But yet, if neither team scores, the momentum will go to Bay City. So first down and 20 now. Kubiak with Newberry and Humes as the wide receivers, and he's going to look for Humes again. This time, he overthrew him out of bounds. Kubiak is getting good protection now in the second quarter after going down twice in the first quarter.
Yeah, he pretty much can do what he wants back there. It's just a matter of one of the receivers being open or not. However, that's tough to do when you got 6 guys sitting back there by Bay City.
42 seconds now on the clock remaining in the first half. Second down and 20 yards to go, and 20 yards is not the important figure. It's the 42 seconds that counts right here. Kubiak with the snap. We've got a blitz on a defensive end now, and Newberry wide open, and he does catch a poorly thrown ball. Are they going to count it? No, they're not going to count it. He dropped it out of bounds. You know, Mike, Bo was wide open on that play, and I think Kubiak tried to throw the ball up a little bit quickly.
Yeah, he rushed that, definitely. We got a timeout here by Lansing. Trying to get things together and see if they can get a couple plays in before the quarter ends.
Well, we really haven't had a chance to see the Crusaders' rushing game to any large extent. Of course, they don't run the ball that much, period. They've only run the ball about 100 times, about 120 times this year. So that's about 10 rushes per game, or 5 rushes per half, which is another way of saying 1 rush per possession.
Yeah, there's no doubt they love to put up the ball, and I tell you, it really makes it for exciting football. So 5 seconds before the clock starts, or before the timeout's over, excuse me.
Joe Clifford into the backfield for Lansing now, along with Ken Root. Bo Newberry wide on the far side, Kevin Humes wide on the near side. Kubiak with a quick snap, drop back, a lot of time to throw. He's going to, the ball is tipped, and it's intercepted by the deep man, number 28, Dave Petty place. He'll go right to the sidelines, and at about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Petty place was just sitting back there, waiting for anything to be thrown his way.
Well, you had mentioned earlier, Mike, that Petty Place was, for the past 6 or 7 plays, was starting off like somebody on another football field. He was about 15, 16, 17 yards off the line of scrimmage, and that's quite a bit farther back than a safety normally will play.
Yeah, I looked up for a second. I thought the Crusaders were going to punt on second down, and I go, wait a minute, you know. But it's a good play. It's a smart thing to do.
So Bay City with a chance, 28 seconds left. Let's see what they do. They're going to roll out. Haller, the quarterback, looking for a man over to the sideline. It is picked off, and that's by number 2, L.C. Benson. He stepped out of bounds at the 42, so 18 seconds left on the clock. What the Crusaders need to do is pick up a big chunk of real estate on this first snap, and then they can elect to either try for the 6 or kick it for the 3. But Bay City now is wondering whether maybe they shouldn't have just sat on the ball.
Yeah, I kind of question what they were doing on that. That was a great play by LC. But you got to wonder what Bay City was doing. The Crusaders are known for their defense, and to sit up there and throw a pass in that type of situation with the coverage that they had, I just got to question that.
Well, Haller likes to roll out. He's been doing it all day. The one thing he has yet to do on a rollout pattern is run it. He has thrown it every time, and it's not very hard for a defense to get used to that pattern. And by the time the receiver was open, well, he wasn't really open the whole time. He had defenders surrounding him.
Yeah, LC did a good job of timing that. It was as if you were saying he just was waiting for that play. He started breaking towards the ball before the receiver did.
Well, it's going to be up to the Bay City quarterback, Ben Haller, to open that back up again by keeping it a few times on his rollouts. Of course, he'll have to absorb some contact to do that. But in any event, 18 seconds left for the Crusaders to work with. Mark McCardle on the near side and Bolden Newberry on the far side. And again, a situation where Newberry is put into the game where they need the big play. Kubiak with a quick snap, and he's looking over towards McCardle. He puts the ball up, and it is knocked away by Woodrow. Hey, number 24, Steve Woodrow, has been making a lot of good plays for Bay City tonight.
Yeah, hit Woodrow and Rawlings both sticking out as far as defense. And once again, you see Petty play flanked way back just in case the Crusaders try to do a long pass and get away with it. He'll be there to, hopefully, for Bay City's sake, make a tackle.
That play took only 4 seconds off the clock, though, so Lansing's still in a situation where they've got one more play before they have to make a big decision. Obviously, they're not going to run the ball, though. And it's going to be Bo Newberry on the far side. And Kubiak is going to look for McCardle again. Over the middle, he's got him, and no, yes, he does. He's going to score. He's going to score. It's all the way. And with 4 seconds left on the clock, and number 9, Mark McCardle, has set this place on fire. The Crusaders doing cartwheels on the sidelines. No flags on this play. That's a touchdown. The Crusaders take the lead 13-7 with only 3 seconds left on the clock. Now, Mike Belker, this is typical Lansing Crusaders football.
Just a phenomenal play by McCardle. He showed his concentration on that play. Tipped it up there, turned the other way, grabbed it, and then ran 30 more yards. That really got the Crusaders fired up. And that's great to happen before the halftime to get this momentum. And the Crusaders will be kicking off, and it will just help them out that much more.
Here's Kirchmer to attempt the extra point. They're going to go for 2, and they don't get it. Well, they may regret this one. Mark Bozo was standing in the end zone waiting for the 2-point conversion pass, but it was picked off, and so it will remain 13-7. And the Crusaders, again, gambling, as always, for the extra point. But now they have only a 6-point lead.
A lot of people are questioning that play, but it's been a defensive game so far this game, and you know they definitely want to go for the win. And if they would have scored, no one would be saying anything.
Well, as always, when it works, it's a good call, and when it doesn't, it's a bad call from the sideline perspective. But in any event, the Crusaders pulled one out of their hat that time, and they now own a 13-7 lead with just 1 play left in the first half. Probably will be the kickoff. And both teams are getting ready for that right now.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that the kickoff is a low shot, something that they'll just be able to run the clock out with. I don't think he'll kick it in the air.
Right. What Lansing would like to see happen is a Bay City Brahma touch the ball while it's moving, and that will start the clock, and that will make this the last play.
Kirchmer and the rest of the gang are talking it over in the huddle.
I didn't say that.
3 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. 13-7 the score. The Crusaders over Bay City. As we line up for the final kickoff of this half. So here's Kirchmer to kick, and he does put it on the ground. It's picked off immediately, and that's going to be the end of the first half as number 80, Jerry Angers. Well, we've got some controversy now over the clock. Okay, the clock has expired. A little bit of confusion there as the time expired, but it has run out here in the first half. And the score at halftime here, 13-7. The Lansing Crusaders with a 6-point halftime lead over the Bay City. Well, halftime is winding down here at Olivet High School as we get ready to start the second half of this Michigan Charity Football League playoff game between the Lansing Crusaders and the Bay City Brahmas. 13-7 is the score. The Crusaders with a 6-point halftime lead. And getting ready to kick things off here to start the second half is number 3, Tim Kirchmer, for the Crusaders.
Keep it up. Double R score. Don't let them double R's though.
Kirchmer kicks the ball deep. This is a very good kick. This is going to go over the head of the intended receiver, number 10, Chuck Gordon, the kick return man. And that will go back for a touchback. So Bay City will start at their own 20-yard line here in the second half. And Mike, the first half saw quite a bit of passing on the part of both teams, particularly the Crusaders, who had only about 5 or less running plays. Meanwhile, the Bay City offense was a little bit more mixed up.
Yeah, Kubiak, I believe, this is not a for sure fact, but he threw for nearly 200 yards, 192 yards. They definitely like to put up the ball, and at this rate, he could throw for nearly 400 yards. So we did not see a running type of game in the first half. We don't know what's going to happen in the second half as Bay City lines up.
Number 7, Herb Stoneman, and in the backfield is Haller gives to Stoneman, and he's going to go off left tackle, and he'll get about 2 yards. You know, Mike, it looks as if Bay City has a couple of good running backs, and we know that Norris is a good running back, number 23, although he's not in the game right now. But they don't seem to get very much against this Lansing Crusader defense.
You know, the Crusaders up front, led by Harris and Bancroft and Radishawn Beasley, just simply dominate that front line. And, you know, it's really tough to run against them. I think that if you're going to beat the Crusaders, you have to definitely mix it up and try some trickery.
Garrison and Sullivan wide on the sides for Bay City as Haller gives the ball to number 7, Stoneman, and he's got a little bit of room over the middle, and he'll pick up 20 yards, a good gain. Herb Stoneman, the ball carrier for Bay City.
That's definitely a good run by Herb Stoneman. He's got good speed, looks about 5'10", 180 pounds, very quick feet, a nice cut back on the field on that play.
One mistake, ease up. Okay.
First down and 10 now for Bay City. A little bit of offensive shifting here, a lot of defensive adjustment as Haller takes a snap, and the give is back to Stoneman again. He's tripped up by number 88 for the Crusaders. Guy Bancroft got into the backfield and tripped up the ball carrier that time.
Yeah, there was a lot of movement on the defense by the Crusaders, and like we were saying, you're not going to be able to run too often, too successfully against them.
Well, it's been mostly a defensive game so far. 3 touchdowns have been scored in 2 quarters of action, and you have the feeling, Mike, that if the Crusaders can score 2 more this half, they might win it. We'll see. Ben Haller with number 1, Jerry Garrison, in motion, and Haller is looking over the middle to number 88, and he's got his intended receiver, but the ball is dropped. Well, what's the call going to be? This will be a very confusing call. I thought it was a caught pass and a dropped and a fumble, but they're going to call it incomplete, it looks like. We'll see. They're having a conference right now.
Yeah, he blew his whistle,
and you can tell by the way you can tell by the reactions of the Crusader players. This one will go against the Lansing. They're calling it incomplete.
I thought it might have been a little bit of a quick whistle on the part of the refs as well, but those are the breaks, and you have to just ignore them and go on. And I think the Crusaders, as a veteran team who's been in this league for many years, will be able to do that with no problem. That brings up a 3rd and 9 for Bay City, and we'll see what they'll try to do on this play, Ben.
Number 14 is Brian Sullivan wide to the far side. Number 88 is Gary Niedzwiski on the near side, and number 1 is Garrison in motion. Haller is throwing over the middle, and he kind of, well, he didn't hit either intended receiver. Jerry Garrison and Gary Niedzwiski were both the intended receivers, and the ball was thrown between them.
I'll tell you, Herb Stillman was back there in a blocking situation, and he just got nailed by one of the linemen for the Crusaders. Crusaders penetrated Haller very well. Now a punting situation.
Standing on their own 25-yard line for the Crusaders as the return man, number 8, Joe Clifford, and number 87, Kevin Humes. Kicking will be the quarterback, Ben Haller. And he's got a little bit of pressure this time, and he kicked it short. Number 56, Jeff Bickerstaff, picked up the ball, went about 5 yards, and that's where he was stopped at his own 39-yard line.
Well, Bickerstaff, normally a linebacker, got to play receiver on that one, and I don't know exactly if he knew what he wanted to do once he caught the ball.
Well, Mike, the character of the Lansing Crusaders ball club is often the type of a team that they need something to fire them up. They're a tremendously talented team, and they're used to dominating their opposition, although Bay City would be an exception. They beat them by only 4 points the last time they played, but quite often it takes a little something to get them sparked before they actually get going, and perhaps the interception or the fumble that wasn't a fumble may get them going. Kubiak will take the ball and flip it over to Root, who goes around his right side and gets 5 yards.
That was simply a great play, Ben. That time they mixed it up a little bit. Bay City was on their toes for a pass, and it was just simply a smart play. I'm glad to see him run the ball a little bit. If you had to make a comparison between these two teams as far as on a pro level, Bay City reminds me slightly of the Oakland Raiders by their colors, not necessarily by their intimidation, but by their colors. And then Bay City reminds me, Lansing Crusaders reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers and their colors, as well as how many times they pass the ball.
Well, they threw it quite a bit in the first half, and they've opened up the second half with the running play, but Kubiak will drop back here on second down, throw it a little short one back to Root, and he's got nobody in front of him, and Kevin Humes with a fine block on the sideline. That picked up another 3 or 4 yards. A very good downfield block by Kevin Humes, but the big play was made by number 28, Ken Root, and he's carried the ball both times now in the second half for the Crusaders. Perhaps Lansing will get a chance to run the ball this half a little more than they did in the first half.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting Root involved in the game more. He did a good job of running the ball in the first half, and to catch a pass like that, it seems to make some sense. The Crusaders are going to use him, it looks like, a little bit more in this half, and Bay City better start looking for him.
Bob Kubiak is going to hand off now to Ferzini, and number 22, and he's not going to go anywhere. Brian Ferzini out of Howell. He picked up maybe a yard. So 3 plays, and 2 of them are running plays. The third one a pass to a running back. And I think, Mike, in the first half, Lansing didn't have a chance to develop any kind of a running game because they were constantly in passing situations.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, you know, I think that we got to realize is that they put themselves in that situation, too. Now they're not opening up with a first or second and 10, third and 11 or whatever. They're opening up with a second and 5. In that situation, that obviously gives them a chance to do more things.
It's 2nd and 8 right now at about the 25-yard line of Bay City. And Bob Kubiak is going to drop back, look over towards Kevin Humes, and it's picked off. This one's going to go for a touchdown. Number 24, Steve Woodrow, has only Bob Kubiak to beat, and he might need 1 block, and he's gone. This one will be a touch. No, he's not. He pulled back, and he didn't score. Well, I hate to be presumptuous. It did look like it was a touchdown coming up. But once again, number 24, Steve Woodrow, with an excellent play for Bay City, and he's been playing well all night long.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I thought he was going to go all the way at first. Fortunately, the Crusaders had an angle on him and were able to cut him off on that play. That could turn things around. However, for Bay City, and it gives them excellent field position.
Okay, first down and 10 now for Bay City at the Lansing Crusader 21-yard line. Ben Haller, the quarterback, and he's calling the signals, and he's going to give now to Norris, who's back in the game, and once again Norris gets about 2 yards on the play. So Carl Norris is back into the game for Bay City, and he picks up 3 yards on that play. The ball now is on the 18-yard line of the Crusaders, and Bay City, with that big interception now, has a chance to get the ball into the end zone and take a lead. Ben Haller, the quarterback, with a give to Norris, and Norris has got some room around the left side. Finally will be brought down at the 5-yard line of the Crusaders. So the explosive Carl Norris now making his impact felt in this Michigan Charity Football League championship game, championship of the Eastern Conference at stake, and now with a first down and goal at the 5-yard line for Bay City, the Crusaders will ask for time.
Yeah, if Bikowski didn't run out of bounds on that play, he would have scored. The Crusaders got to do something here. They need a big defensive play. Otherwise, this game will definitely turn its tide as far as the momentum.
Well, the momentum in the first half was basically a little bit back and forth. Neither team had it for an extended period of time. Obviously, right now, the momentum is in the hands of the Bay City Brahmas. And with a rushing attack and a ball carrier like Carl Norris, I think it'll be pretty hard to stop them now. They'll have 4 tries to get it into the end zone, and they need 5 yards. And now the attempted 2-point conversion by the Crusaders on their second touchdown at the end of the first half is suspect, because a touchdown and an extra point kick here would give Bay City the lead, and perhaps the lead for good.
Ben, I was just informed, you know, these referees even get a little tired as the big fella went on the sidelines to get a drink in between that break, or between that break.
Well, we're midway through the third period now, and this is the most important series of downs in the ball game, as Ben Haller will take his Bay City offense to the 5-yard line of the Crusaders and try and get inside the end zone. Carl Norris, the up back, and the give, no doubt, is to Norris, and he's going to go all the way in for a touchdown easily. No problem there. So now it's a tie ball game, Mike, and that 2-point conversion is the difference.
Yeah, that definitely looms big now, and no doubt about it, Bay City will go for the one and most likely put it up and through. The biggest thing now is that the Crusaders got to get their offense back in gear and get concentrated and forget about that past interception, and they need a good return on a kickoff.
Well, Ben Haller will have to split the uprights, though, with this extra point attempt, or else it will remain a tie, and all of our discussion about the 2-point conversion will be a moot point. Jerry Garrison is going to be holding number 1 for Bay City. Ben Haller will be kicking. And here's the snap. It's a bit high. Haller gets it up, and it's good. So the Bay City Brahmas have the lead now in this Michigan Charity Football League playoff game. It's 14-13, Mike Felker, and now the Crusaders are going to have to bear down and play some football.
Yeah, no question about that, Ben. They're just going to have to concentrate a little harder, try to execute, and once again, they will probably go to the pass and try to get a quick lead here. They don't like to mess around with the run too much, and they're not as scared to do anything.
Well, since the Crusaders began play in the Michigan Charity Football League, they've had 59 games, and their record is 52-7, and that's including a winning streak of 33 of their past 34 games. That's basically the past 3 years. Their last regular season loss was in 1982. Their last loss of any kind was the last game of last year up in Cadillac, Michigan, where the Northmen took the championship game of the MCFL 36-28. And another stat, Bob Kubiak, of course, has been the regular for the Crusaders for about 3-4 years now. And Bob Kubiak's record as quarterback for the Crusaders, 36-2.
So Kubiak is not used to these type of situations, so we'll see what happens there.
The entire ball club isn't used to it, Mike, and they're going to have to get back into their own swing of things. A lot of noise coming from the Bay City side. Clifford and Humes back to receive, and a good kickoff, very high. Humes in position, Clifford to block for him, and they've got good penetration by Bay City, and Humes dodges about 5 tackles, and he's still on his feet, and that was a brilliant return.
Excellent return, Ben. He could have been stopped at the 5-yard line. He did everything on his own on that one, and it was simply all his effort. He could have let it go in the end zone and been, you know, starting off at the 20. Took a chance and almost broke it all the way.
Well, that's why Humes is the man back there to take the kickoff. As you said, he caught the ball somewhere around the 5, and he really didn't have any blocking, so to speak. The blocking wall for the Crusaders broke down almost immediately under the special teams pressure of Bay City. And so the Crusaders, by virtue of Kevin Humes' return, will start at the 26-yard line. Bob Kubiak will quick flip to Humes on the sideline, and Humes gets about 2 yards, maybe 3.
That seems like a play that the Crusaders like to run quite a bit. However, I do think that Bay City's getting to catch on to it.
Well, we've got an injury on the field. Bay City player is down and can't get up. Hard to say what it was that brought him down or what his injury might be. But that's what the conference is there at the middle of the field. Well, now he's lying on his back.
Yeah, Ben, he really looked like he got nailed. It could be the wind knocked out of him. We can't get his number from this vantage point, but we'll let you know as soon as we do find out who it is.
Well, it's number 2, and that would be T.J. Troop, a defensive back that they could ill afford to lose in this contest. I think you may be right. The wind knocked out of him because he wasn't holding an arm or a leg, and it looked like for a moment he was thinking about getting up, but changed his mind. And he's being helped off the field. That's number 2 with number 71 helping him, his teammate, Mac Walcott. So I think we can expect to see TJ back in the game.
That's a good break for Bay City. A bad break for the Crusaders, though, as TJ is an excellent defensive back.
Well, the wide receivers now, number 86 and 87, Bo Newberry and Kevin Humes for the Crusaders, and Joe Clifford and Ken Root in the backfield in a pro set, possibly an offsides. The flag is down. Ken Root rolling out to his right side. He's cutting an angle, and he rambles for about 9 yards, but 2 flags are down. I think this will be on Bay City. Number 79, Dave Watts, the defensive tackle, is being pointed at as the culprit in this one. Here's the call.
Preliminary indication.
That was 12 men on the field, Ben. So we'll have a 2nd and 7 situation, it looks like.
Illegal participation is the actual name of that violation, and that's why the flag went up immediately. And that's a rare call.
No, it's pretty good that the refs picked something up like that, because you get involved with these games, and it's a hard thing to keep track of. The Detroit Lions are famous, unfortunately, for doing similar situations.
Well, that'll save Lansing a down.
And Ben, that's exactly what he called it. I could hear illegal participation.
Or if you're on the playground, it's called too many players. But anyway, 46-yard line is where the Crusaders will start this play. Again, Newberry and Humes, the wide receivers. Kubiak is going to drop back and go over the middle to Humes and almost picked off. Well, this is going to be an interference call, I believe. Clifford was laying on the ground when the ball went by him. And I think there may have been some extra contact there by the defense. They're going to talk about it right now.
That's what I think it was.
And it is pass interference on Bay City. So 2 penalties in a row now have hurt the Bay City Brahmas. And if I know the Lansing Crusaders, one of these next 2 plays would be a big one, because normally when the other team gives them a couple of breaks, they take advantage of it almost immediately.
Yeah, that's one thing you can tell. The good teams, you know, make their mistakes, and the good teams take advantages of the mistakes that are made by their opponents. And no doubt about the Crusaders, they're one of those teams that will definitely benefit from this. And we're hearing all sorts of yelling on the Bay City side. It's 1st and 5.
Well, the Crusaders have moved into Bay City territory. They'll be snapping the ball at the 48-yard line of the Brahmas. Kubiak now an inside handoff to Clifford, and he doesn't get very much at all. You know, he did a good job just to hang on to that ball, Mike, because he had defenders on him as he was taking the handoff, and many times that will force a fumble.
Yeah, this shows you that the Brahmas do have a good defense. They're not a bunch of wimps out there, I guess is the best way I could describe it. They penetrate very well, and it looks like they're tough against the run, and maybe that's one of the reasons Crusaders have passed the ball so much, is because they're not easy to run against.
2nd down and 8 for the Crusaders. Bob Kubiak again going back to pass, and he's looking towards Bo Newberry, but he gives off to Ken Root. A pass over the middle. Well, he was really hit. He really took a hit when he went down, and that did not gain the Crusaders very much in the way of yardage.
Yeah, Steve Roller's really lowered the pop on him, but it just shows you how tough Root is, as he just simply got back up and acted as if he didn't even feel it.
We've got another player down on the field on the far side, another Bay City Brahma. He is behind number 61 as you look at your screen. You can see his helmet now as the officials are standing over him. We can't pick up a number on him. This one may be more of a serious injury than the last one.
Yeah, usually you can tell by the reaction of the sidelines, and just about everyone came out there as soon as they saw it. I'm afraid it might be a knee, but it really is hard to tell from our situation here.
4:48 left in the third period. The score is Bay City 14, Lansing 13. And the Crusaders now are getting a free timeout by virtue of the injury to the Bay City player. They seem to be just using a timeout to rest. Meanwhile, here comes number 22, Brian Frazzini, bringing a play in, and Ken Root, number 28, will come out.
I noticed that the Crusaders like to rotate their backs quite a bit, which is great because then you keep a fresh guy in there all the time. They also seem to be able to handle the ball well in the pass situations, and the Crusaders definitely do have some talent all around on offense. It's just a matter of getting some consistency, and we'll see what we can do after this injury timeout. The Bay City players right now limping off the field. It looks like it's not as bad as we originally thought. You cannot see that on your screen, but he seems to be okay over on the sideline.
Okay, a 3rd down and 6 situation now for the Crusaders with 4:48 left in the third period. They need 6 yards now. And Mark Bozo is lined up as a flanker as Bob Kubiak, under some pressure, will throw over the middle to Bo Newberry. The ball was tipped, and Bo got a piece of it anyway, but he dropped it as he was hit.
And then there were too many black jerseys around that football and that play, and it seems like right now every time the Crusaders throw, it's that situation.
Well, I don't want to say their offense is predictable, but I think I've picked up on it pretty well these past couple of years, and I would think that any other coach that might scout, I know these game tapes are traded amongst the coaches in the league, and it may be that Bay City is getting a feel for what Lansing is going to do. Number 3, Kirchmer, getting ready to punt. He's got a lot of pressure, and they hit him. Well, they're going to have to call it. They're not going to call it. Number 14 is Brian Sullivan. And at number 3, the punter, Kirchmer, Tim Kirchmer, is wondering why wasn't there a roughing the kicker call. And I don't have an answer for that, Mike.
Well, I think he was blocked into him on that play, Ben. We do not have a replay of it, but if we did, it would seem to be that way. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, you know, in college football nowadays, if you are blocked into the punter, it is still roughing the kicker, but apparently under MCFL rules, it won't be a roughing the kicker penalty.
Either that or the ref missed it.
He couldn't have missed it. I saw him looking right at it. Anyway, it'll be Bay City with the ball. Ben Heller, the quarterback. He takes the snap and gives to number 23, Carl Norris. Again, speeding it up and going to the outside. And he's brought down after about a 5-yard gain.
Well, Norris is their workhorse, and he certainly has shown his mobility and ability. And he's taken just about every first play of every series by the Bay City team.
2nd and 5 now with time running. The clock is running in the third quarter. Coming down to 4 minutes even here in the third quarter. And it is 2nd down and 5. You know, if I was the Bay City coach, I might just think about running Carl Norris on every play. Ben Heller, the quarterback, is going to give right back to Norris up the middle, and he'll be shy of a first down by a couple of yards.
Yeah, Ben, you can't blame them for running. They've been so far this quarter very successful with it. However, I do think that the Crusaders will eventually settle down their defense and contain Norris to some extent.
You know, one thing that Joe Costello pointed out at the beginning of this game about the Bay City Brahmas team is that they've got a lot of size on their offensive line. And I see here number 74, Andre Sangaster, a 6'5", 285-pound offensive lineman, and a 6'4", 255-pound offensive lineman. So the Bay City offensive line is starting to do a job. And that one looks like it's good enough for a first down.
Yeah, it looks like they could be running down the defense of the Crusaders. However, the Crusaders are a very agile team, and they're not exactly a bunch of Smurfs out there.
Chris Williams was the ball carrier on that play. So 3 running plays, good for a first down for Bay City. And they're starting to set something up, I think, Mike, running the ball a little bit more, forcing the Crusader defense inside, and that may open something up over the middle. Ben Heller, the quarterback, and he's going to pitch now to number 7, Stoneman, and penetration galore for the Crusaders, and he's going nowhere. Everybody was in for Lansing that time. They had that one smelled out perfectly. And they're going to lose yardage. Bay City will lose about 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, Guy Bancroft made that play. He got great penetration, which enabled, I don't know who exactly made that tackle. I think it was...
Yeah, I think it was the whole defense, really.
Exactly. But he really opened things up.